Hey guys, this is Arsenal Giants PS3 and this is episode 2 of my Euro 2012 in-depth team analysis, and this is Group B, obviously consisting of Germany, Holland, Portugal and Denmark. And first up we have Germany. Now obviously Germany came very close in World Cup 2010. They played some really nice football and had a wealth of young talent. And, they're 2 years older now, 2 years wiser, and they basically look much better than they do in 2010. They were rampant in qualifying, and they're likely to be a very dangerous team. Now, they play a 4-2-3-1, a very popular formation this year, and they have Ozil as a centrepiece in the middle, with Podolski and Müller acting basically as wingers, and up front they can start either Gomez or Klose, and they're likely to focus on possession and crossing, and quick football in the middle, with Ozil playing the central and most important role, the playmaker role, just behind. And it's going to be important that they keep the flair yet efficiency that Germany is quite renowned for. And my first star player is Mario Gomez. Now obviously he's been very good in the league, 26 goals for Bayern this season, and he obviously has been very impressive. He's very dangerous around the box. Many people have called him one of the best strikers in the world, and he definitely has been good. But one fault that many people may have with him is that he hasn't hit top form in the big games. In the Champions League final, obviously he missed quite a few chances, and it's hard to say whether he'll be a massive success in this tournament and relish the toughness of the games, or he'll be a massive flop. But if he's on form, he will be unstoppable. My next main player is Ozil. Now he's obviously one of the only starters in this German squad. He's a great playmaker, a great international performer, as World Cup 2010 shows, and he got 17 assists and 4 goals in the league for Real Madrid. He will be instrumental for German success. And lastly, in goal we have Manuel Neuer. Obviously, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the moment. He's been very solid in goal for Bayern. He was good in the Champions League final. He's obviously relishes the big game atmosphere, and he's got composure, and he should definitely be integral to German victory and can replicate Lehmann and Kahn if Germany do well. So obviously Germany, they're a very strong team. They've got so many options in Goetze, Roos, Cruz, all of these players. Their weakness, the defence is somewhat unsettled. There aren't any assured starters as of yet, and I think though they have generally got the strength and quality in the squad to do well. I reckon they will win the tournament. They were the best team at World Cup 2010 to some extent, best footballing team anyway, and I can see them being winners. So I'm going to put my neck out and say Germany will win Euro 2012. Next up in the group is Holland. Now obviously Holland have won this tournament only once before in 1988, and they're another team that, again, they've got so much talent in their squad at the moment. Obviously Huntelaar, Robben, Van Persie, Schneider. There's so many good players in there, and it's going to be interesting to see if these players bond and perform like they have done for their clubs this season on the international level. Now again, it's another team playing this 4-2-3-1, a very popular system, and the emphasis is purely on attack here. Their attacking players are, the attack is where they have their strength. Huntelaar, Van Persie, Schneider and Robben. They've got 2 holding midfielders that will try and control and marshal the game, Van Bommel and Van der Vaart. And it will be exciting to watch this array of strikers. Their defence is the partial weakness in the squad with Matthijssen and Heitinga, but they have definitely got a good goalkeeper in Stecklenburg. And my 3 main players I've picked out are somewhat cliche. Van Persie, obviously he's been outstanding for Arsenal. There's not much you can say about this guy. He's been absolutely brilliant. He scored 2 recently against Northern Ireland. He's done well there in pre-season of this tournament basically, and if he turns up he could be deadly. Van Persie's one of those players that he either turns up or he doesn't. If he turns up he's unstoppable. If he doesn't turn up he's frustrating. He should, this could be one of his last real tournaments where he's going to get a starting spot, and he should definitely be an interesting player to watch. Next up is Huntelaar. He's probably one of the most clinical strikers at this point in time. 29 goals in 32 games for Schalke. He's an absolutely brilliant striker. Again, someone that will be around the box, always waiting for a chance. And if he scores a lot, Holland will win. They will win a lot because he's guided Schalke a lot this season with his goals. Lastly, we've got Schneider. He's had somewhat of an off-season for Inter Milan. He's only played 20 times in the league and scored 4 goals and only got 5 assists. It's going to be important that he does turn up because, again, he's one of those players that's going to be right in the middle of the midfield, and it's going to be vital that he does well. I think if he's a central component, and if he does well in this all-out attack team, again, Holland will do very well. Now Holland, I'm not sure where they'll come. They've got a pretty weak defence. You know, they might have a tough time if they're prolonged to attacks, and they'll have to rely on possession and not giving the ball away. They've got plenty of experience, but they may falter if the goals don't come. And I'm going to go with semi-finals. They are a good team. They've definitely got a lot of talent. I don't think they've quite got the defence and the squad depth to go the distance, but they'll definitely be exciting to watch. And I'm going to go semi-finals for Holland. Another team in the group is Portugal. Now, Portugal obviously did very well at Euro 2004 and Euro 2008. They made it obviously to the final in 2004 and looked good in 2008 until they came up against Germany. And Ronaldo was the spearhead then, and he's the spearhead now. Obviously, he's a superb player, and they have an array of talent. And, you know, they do focus on their wingers. They play a 4-3-3 to Portugal, and it's a team that focuses very, very much on the counter and using the pace they have on the wings. And using Ronaldo basically, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if they can translate their defensive quality into, you know, attacking quality through their three centre midfielders. The spearhead of which is probably Morelos, although they do lack a creative talisman, the playmaker that Deco was in 2004 and 2008. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do, but they will be relying a lot on this man, Cristiano Ronaldo. 46 goals in 38 games in the league for Ronaldo, absolutely ridiculously good. He always plays superbly. He turns up in big tournaments. It's just whether or not he can carry the team. He was great in 2008. He was great in 2004. But you know, it really does rely on whether or not Portugal will rely too much on him in Euro 2012, and if he can take that pressure. Another player though is Raul Morelos, obviously playing for Chelsea this season. Was very impressive. He shone most in the Champions League. He, you know, put in some great defensive performances against Barcelona, and obviously got the winner against Benfica. He's a very good player on the counter. He has got a good shot. He's a good passer. He's a good all-round midfielder. But you know, the emphasis will be on attack, and he's one of those players that may struggle, and he's going to have to turn up as a really good centre midfielder if Portugal are going to do well. Pepe is the last of my three main players. Pepe, of course, has been brilliant for Real Madrid this season, but he's a very interesting player in the fact that he can be quite controversial, and he can get frustrated. And as he's going to be, you know, the main player in defence, obviously, it's going to be important that he doesn't get booked or sent off, and it's going to be vital that he turns up and that he's a player that is composed and plays well. So he's going to be important. Now, obviously, they're the dark horses in this group, and hence in the tournament. In the group of death, now I'm uncertain. My prediction is going to be group stage knockout if it all goes to plan, and you know, Holland play well and Germany play well. But if they pick up some points in those games, if they play well, and obviously get 3 points over Denmark, then they could do well. And you know, if they get into the knockout stages, who knows what can happen? This is the Euros after all, and Ronaldo could lead them to glory. He's at his best yet, and I reckon Ronaldo will either get knocked out or they'll go on to maybe get to the semis. Lastly, in the group we have Denmark. Now, Denmark are a team with very prestigious history in the tournament. They won Euro 1992 against the Germans and can always pack a surprise. There is plenty of talent in this squad. Bentner, Eriksson, Agger, and it's a team which, you know, in another group could have done superbly, but obviously in this group, such a tough group, such a tough draw, they could, you know, really fail to make an impression. Now, they play a 4-2-3-1, which has become so popular recently, and it can transmit into a 4-5-1 with everything going through Eriksson in the midfield, and it's a squad which has some quality there, but relies a lot on individual performances and individual talent, and the defence, you know, can be lacking. Agger and Kaya, or Kaja, however you say it, could make some mistakes and really be upset by the talent in the other teams. They have three main players, some of which could be thought of as players which are going to really struggle to make an impression on this stage, or you know, could alternatively be stars and surprise stars. But first up is Bentner, 8 goals for 30 for Sunderland this season, which is pretty decent in the Premier League. He's still, you got to remember, a reasonably young player, but he has talent definitely for his country. He scored vital goals against both Norway and Portugal. He's a very strong striker, but he can be isolated in the 4-2-3-1. and he's okay in the air but not brilliant. Another player is Agger. Now obviously Agger has been okay for Liverpool this season. He's not been as good as in previous seasons, but he is a very good defender on his day, and he kind of leads this defence. He's the kind of star man, and he's going to be an integral player for Denmark, and he has to perform, and that's going to be a harsh, he's got very, very tough players to come up against: Robben, Van Persie, Özil, Ronaldo, so it's going to be vital that he performs. Lastly, we have Eriksen. Now Eriksen's got 7 goals for Ajax this season and 19 assists for Ajax as they won the league in Holland, and he's a very, very good player. He's got lots of talent, but it'll be interesting to see how he plays when he tests himself against the best players in the world and some of the best defences. And he is a good playmaker, and everything goes through him in the formation, so it's vital that he turns up and plays well. But he'll either be a revelation or a massive disappointment. Now Denmark, the defence overall is reasonably tough, but it can be poor at times, and the keeper is a concern. Obviously they've got Sorensen in goal, who is getting somewhat older, and Lindegaard is an option, but he's obviously unexperienced. So it's going to be vital that the keeper plays well. The defence has to gel and play immediately well. They have to, Eriksen has to play well as everything goes through him. A lot relies on how they play, and even then, I can't see them going through the group, to be quite frankly honest. It's a tough group, and another group they could have done superbly, but in this group, I just can't quite see them going through. But they should definitely be an interesting to watch and could pack a surprise. Now, that's the end of the group. I reckon Germany will win the group, Holland will come second, Portugal third and fourth, but those mitigating circumstances could change that so much. It's going to be probably the best group to watch, and the game to watch for me is going to be Germany versus Holland on June 13th on BBC One, and the player to watch is obviously going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. He's been sensational this season. There are so many good players in this group, and it will be so interesting to see how he plays for the Portuguese team, and the team most likely to succeed. I'm going to put my money on Germany winning this group, but the rest of the group, it can be so open. I reckon Germany will want to win the tournament, but when you look at those other teams, Holland, Portugal and Denmark, they are all good teams. Denmark, as I said, beat Portugal in the qualifying. It's going to be so close and so open and exciting. So thank guys for watching. I hope you found this informative and interesting. If you did, please leave a like, as it helps so much. And tell us who you think will win the group and how you think the group will turn out, because we're always interested to know. And thanks guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.